Otto! Ja! Otrana! Hema! Hama! Hama! Ja!
I needed serious help if we were going to have any kind of decent national team. Even a bad national team I needed help with.
Shimon. You know soccer? You heard about soccer? Football? This is football. Shooting.
First time I showed them the football, they said, "Oh, this is a funny volleyball." So I said, "It's not a volleyball. It's a different sport. You don't use your hands. Use your feet." Wearing shoes was just a terrible idea to them. They refused because they didn't like having something tight on their feet.
Stop it. You want to play football? Yes! Do you want to play?
While he was very strict and stern and did a lot of yelling, which is not the Micronesian way at all.
Keep the boat!
They came to understand that he was yelling at them not because he didn't like them, but because he cared for them and wanted them to improve. When he called me from Israel several times, he said, "David, so how many seats does your stadium hold?" And I said, "Oh my gosh. How can I explain this to him on the phone?"
זה המגרש?
כן, זה המגרש, הוא עכשיו בטיפול. הרושם הראשוני הוא לא טוב, אבל אם תסתכל פה טוב עכשיו למטה, תראה פתאום צומח דשא חדש לגמרי. עכשיו ככה, מה שקורה פה מבחינה זו, זה פינו פה את האזור בשביל לבנות את הטריבונה. כאן תהיה הטריבונה, הכניסה תהיה מפה. רכבים שנקראים אנשים חשובים ייסעו מסביב, והם ישבו בצד השני, איפה שיושבות הקבוצות. הקבוצות יש להם פה מקום, יהיה פה מקום גם בטקס סיום. המקום הזה יהיה בטריבונות. אתם, הצוות, המצלמות.
כן, זה לא עוד שנתיים.
אני יודע. זה מה שאני... הם טוענים שזה יהיה מוכן, אני לא יודע, קשה לי להאמין. זה הדשא החדש, אתם רואים? זה והקטנים האלה פה, אתם רואים פה? אתם רואים שזה התחיל לרוץ, אז זה רץ. אני מסתכל, אני מחפש את הדשא הזה שמדברים עליו שהוא רץ. אני יודע ששקלו אותו, הנה, אתם רואים? הנה, אתם כבר יכולים לראות, זה נראה אחרת. מה שמעצבן אותי יותר מכל זה ששרסו לי את העץ עם הפפאיות שלי. לא מאמין שיצא פה משהו, פשוט לא יכול להאמין. מקסימום נלך לקטוף פה פפאיות ובננות ונשחק אחד נגד אחד וזהו. זה ככה זה, רבותיי. כמו שאתם רואים עכשיו טבעי על המקום. שיגרון.
something about the United Nations and something. I knew that there was something that the Micronesian people felt about Israel. I didn't know that it was the other way around also, until I went to Israel and going through immigration. The woman looked at my passport and my ticket, and she said, "You live in Micronesia?" I said, "Yes." "You live in Micronesia?" And I said, "Yes, I live there, but I'm a U.S. citizen." I said, "No, you live in Micronesia. You're coming there from now?" I said, "Yes, I'm coming there." She said, "You love us in Micronesia." And then I wasn't quite sure what she was talking about. I said, "Yeah, we love you." She said, No. It says on the TV, you love us." I said, "Oh, that's good." And then she started becoming very happy and speaking in Hebrew to all the other people stamping passports. And they started waving to me, this side and this side waving. And I waved back. And then I realized that something had been publicized in Israel that made the Israeli people feel the same or a similar amount of love and affection for Micronesia as Micronesia has for Israel.
We're stepping on the grass. They might not grow because of you guys stepping on it.
What do you think about the condition?
It's bad.
I asked the governor up here today to give him an update of the field. The governor has been very interested and extremely helpful in getting us as far as we've got to this point. Today was the day that we're evaluating its progress, and so I asked the governor up here today so that he could look at it firsthand with me and we could sort of go over our options.
The thing is that because you see even this thing here, this thing need to hold, you know.
I think it's possible. It's a gamble. If we do nothing, it still might be ready in time for the tournament.
It might. The word might. It's a bad word. You cannot plan with might. You have nothing to fear, my friend, but fear itself.
Mr. Barat.
How is your relationship with these guys, the Arab countries? They don't like you guys? How come you guys never fight and stop? There's so many wars that, you know, you guys could have finished it and be done with one time and finish. Kill all of them.
Kill all of them?
Why not?
I can stand also! Take him in!
Go, Kessy, go, run, and shoot. Again.
You guys think these guys are going to be good? What do you think? I don't know. You have to know the game to know. How many people play at one time on one team? 21, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
You watch soccer games?
Someday that every time it comes on TV, I switch to another channel. Yeah, I don't know anything about it.
What's the number?
I want to play the villain. I'm most comfortable with the villain. Yeah, all Walt Disney movies have a bad guy. I want to be the bad guy. You know, the bearer of bad news, the guy who owns the field and won't let the kids play, something like that, you know. I see, that's why I'm saying, and you see, I grew up in a little town called Hoquiam. It's about 110 miles southwest of Seattle, Washington. I think I was in love with Mercy when we married, but I don't think she was in love with me. But I realized even after a short time that oftentimes Yappies don't marry for love.
I was praying at night. I said, Lord, is this man for me or? And then I was sleeping one night, and then his pictures keep coming in my mind, and I woke up dreaming, and when my mind cleared, it's like Mike's in my mind. So I went to him and I said, You're the right man. You won't ask any yappies here. They will say, oh, Mike is this and this and that. But Mike is my husband. He spent most of his time in the field and doing this, preparing this soccer thing, and not much time home, you know. And the yappies, they don't see it that way. They see Mike, you know, he's really outgoing, outspoken, you know, and he steps on people, and he doesn't mean to step on people, but you know, the yappies are slow moving and Mike is really fast, you know, jump here and there. And
what do you mean step on people?
I mean, you don't see when you step, you know, because lots of yappies, they say, you know, if your husband was talking to me last night and he talk and talk and talk, I don't have time to even talk. He's the one doing all the talking and you know, and I want to punch him, you know. And you know, and I mean, sometimes I get tired of Mike too. It's the same thing. When we talk, he asks me a question, I haven't even finished answering the question. He's jumped to another question, you know. It makes me, you know. So I think that's what he's doing to other people, but he doesn't know that he's, you know, he's bothering them.
Okay. Where in Yap, we have good grass, the private department, and we will take flats, put on, we have a nice field in 2 days.
I'm sure we can do that if we find someone willing to give us their grass. Maybe the governor knows.
Things don't grow here the way I expect them to from where I come from, obviously. Some things grow faster, some things seem to grow slower.
We have grass growing up in there. It probably won't be very high in another 12 days, but there will be some grass. I think with enough time...
In Hebrew, it's like tachles. What's going to be tachles? It's going, we have to do something, you know.
All right, well, so I think this idea of bringing sod in is a good one, but it takes a lot of people, a lot of coordination.
You can do it. Do you believe that July 12th we have a field here?
That's the thing the governor said. We have 9 more days to go.
Yeah.
And we have to do this as an emergency.
Yeah.
So the Council of Chiefs has determined that the village work for the whole island today is collecting grass and putting it on this field. So people from all over Yap are involved in that. Even if they're not here, they're involved in harvesting the grass, cutting it, putting it into blocks, getting it on the trucks and shipping it here. So it amazes me too.
Really?
To be honest with you. I've never seen this kind of thing happen.
We don't work on Sunday, but I think God understands. He knows this has to be done before the tournament starts.